As you know by now, gun channels are under attack by YouTube. Many content creators are receiving community strikes just for simply showing the safe operation of a firearm. We can no longer show the safe operation of a firearm. You can no longer do gun reviews. So effective immediately, all gun reviews and future gun reviews are going to be on Patreon and Patreon only. You can join for as little as $1 a month. I'd like to take a moment and thank those of you who have joined us on Patreon, because there is value in this content. We cannot risk losing this platform, which is a tremendous voice for God, just to simply show gun reviews. So that link is below. As we've talked about a few times on this channel, is the militarization of the IRS. And you've seen this all over the media, acquiring millions and millions of rounds over the last few years and several weapons, and hiring 86,000 new employees. But there's a particular statistic regarding this that I think is worthy of talking about, because what kind of training are these new armed IRS agents getting? I mean, really, what kind of training are they getting? Well, let's say that if you look at the training that the IRS has to have, what they need is they only have to fire at 75% proficiency at 10 feet once a quarter, so 4 times a year. And after so many years, they only have to do it twice a year. And after so many years, they only have to do it 1 time a year. So there's an interesting statistic that is really more about how many times they have made critical mistakes during a use of force situation. Now, when it comes to use of force by the IRS, I'm just going to share a little story. I've only had one experience with that personally. I was working at a school and the IRS came in, and it was a woman, and she was armed. She was very mean, and she started immediately talking about how she was going to close things down, and she was going to go freeze assets at the bank and all this. And as I talked to her, I was trying to kind of calm her down. Like, she came in amped. Like, she was amped. Nobody else was amped. She was the only amped one there. And as everybody calmed down, I kind of looked at her, and I had my heads in my, I was like, oh, I hold my head in my hands, and I looked at her and I said, you know, the way the confrontation that you're dealing with, your job must be really difficult. And she looked me straight in the eyes and she said, you know, I actually love this. So with that being said, let's talk about the use of force situation where guns are actually drawn. There was no guns drawn in that situation. I mean, come on, we're a school. So what's taking place is, obviously, if there's a discharge of the firearm during a use of force situation, that is documented. And over a 3-year period of time, documenting discharges of firearms from IRS agents during a use of force situation, 8 times the IRS discharged a firearm intentionally. They intentionally discharged it, whether it was to shoot somebody or whatever. They intentionally discharged a firearm 8 times. They unintentionally fired a firearm in a use of force situation, meaning they're coming in, guns drawn, and they accidentally fire 11 times. So literally, the IRS has accidentally discharged their firearms more than intentionally. This is a huge issue, and I think it needs to be brought to question because, number one, you're militarizing them. If you're militarizing them, at least give them the training. Well, maybe it's good they don't have the training. Actually, I'll take that back. Don't train them. It's good they're not trained. But if you look at what the military training goes through, they don't just armed soldiers. They got to go through rigorous weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of training. This is not acceptable. It's unacceptable. But at least it has to be brought to light. So I just wanted you to know, IRS shooting their guns accidentally more than they are intentionally. And they're being militarized. 86,000 new employees, millions and millions and millions of rounds. A lot of more guns. and apparently they accidentally fire more than they intentionally fire them. So welcome to the United States IRS. Any thoughts or inputs on any of this, definitely put that below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.